Welcome, one and all, to the Undisputed Nerds Podcast. I am your host, Senpai Zane, and as always, I am joined by my fantastic co-host, the Gentlemanly Gamer.
You can call me Gigi now. People have started calling me Gigi online.
Have they really?
Yeah.
Is it caught on?
It's caught on. It is caught
Yes.
on. I'm now Gigi. Hello, everyone out there in Radio Land. How are we all this week? Yeah, you've coined my new nickname, Gigi.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's a nice iRobot reference as well, by the way.
Is it? Wait, is it?
It's what Will Smith calls his nan, Gigi.
Oh, thank God. Thank God. I thought you were going to say it was the Shia LaBeouf character. I was about to get really offended.
Because you're definitely the Shia LaBeouf to my Will Smith dynamic.
Don't you ever say that to me ever again. I'm much more of the Alan Tudyk to your Will Smith if you're talking about that film. That's nice though that you could. I like that you called me Gigi based around that iRobot reference. So I'm effectively, I effectively, my place in this nerd kingdom is effectively the kindly old gran.
That would make him eyes.
Thanks, Senpai.
We could call you Sonny going forward if you want. Like, it's entirely up to you.
No, that brings to mind a different person in my head.
Okay.
I'm thinking 97, 98 Attitude Era Sonny. That's what I'm thinking.
That's what Bret Hart said.
I don't want that reputation. That's not how I got this job. Yeah, I think it was Shawn Michaels who said that, wasn't it?
Yeah,
wow, we started off hot and heavy. We
have started off hot and heavy. How's your week been, by the way?
It's been all right, thank you. Yeah. Long, work is long. Work is pain. I basically, just waiting for us to, sell out to the point that I never have to work again. That's the dream still. So I'm doing all right, thank you, buddy. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm not too bad. No hat this week. But
yeah.
No hat this week, but I'm not too bad.
I actually haven't spoken to you this week. It's weird. You and I normally talk, so spoilers to everyone, we normally talk offline. And I feel like I've barely spoken to you this week. It's been quite sad.
Yeah, except for the occasional text about Marvel Strike Heroes. Like
Marvel Strike Force, yeah. Oh my God! Have you seen the new? They've done the soft launch of Future Evolution now in Canada. They've done the soft launch of it in
really? Yeah,
the US and Canada. It is mate, like it is so amazing. It looks incredible. Ooh. I will need to send you stuff, Senpai. It looks so amazing. I almost called you by your real name then. That's how caught up in it I got. Yeah, I need to send you some stuff, Senpai, because it's good. But yeah, have you got Adam Warlock yet in Marvel Strike Force?
No, I am nowhere near getting Adam Warlock. I'm still grinding away. Fun fact, by the way, we had the Otaku podcast this week, which you can also find live on YouTube. And there is a bet on at the moment about who's watched the most anime out of me and my co-host, Mr. Susude. Now, if Susude has watched more anime than me, I will lose the senpai in my Senpai Zane name.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. So he's basically trying to make my life more difficult. Because that's going to make it really hard to not call you senpai from then on. Wow. I mean, what's the? Have you got? How are you measuring this? Is there some kind of have you got a scale of Hogan for anime?
There is a Hogan scale, you could say. Yeah. So there's a website called My Anime List, and basically we're going through and cataloging every anime we've ever watched, and it will calculate based on days, episodes, the whole thing of who's watched more. So if anyone wants to.
I was telling someone about our podcast today, actually, someone I haven't spoken to for a very long time. And they said, well, what makes you nerds? Because, Marvel's like cool now. Marvel's not nerdy. And I hope that he listens to this episode where you have just told people that you are cataloging the anime that you watch, you absolute geek.
It is insightful, to say the least.
Yeah, that's good. That's very good. That's very good. Oh, I'm glad you've had a fun-filled week.
Of titles being on the line.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, that's what it is, isn't it? It's you and your competitive nature. As soon as there's like some kind of challenge and title on the line, that's it. He's gonna make himself a senpai belt and wear it around like it's like the World Wrestling Federation Championship or something.
Absolutely. With a white strap.
Yeah, naturally. The coolest to go. Don't you want to go Ultimate Warrior asking have like a blue strap or go like crazy
yellow
colours?
one?
Yeah, yellow was on the IC, wasn't it? Yeah, go with that. Yeah.
Why not? Maybe. We have got a lot of stuff to go through today. You are in for an episode for us to break down. Of course, we'll be talking about Loki episode 4. Yeah, wowzers, what an episode. But before we do jump into some Loki action, heard some tips and bits through the ether.
Tips and bits.
Tips and bits.
Tips
Should we
and
pull
bits.
up a chair? Have some
Most people would say bits and pieces, but apparently we're now having tips and bits.
Tips and bits here on the Undisputed Podcast. Undisputed Nerds Podcast.
Would you like some tips and bits?
Some tips and bits
Yes,
to whet your appetite.
I'd love to wep some. We're turning cool whip.
Cool whip.
Tips
Oh,
and whips.
this feels like an episode of Downton Abbey.
It does. Yeah, that's If Downton Abbey was very progressive. Good. Yes. Let's go. Let's hit us with the news, Senpai. Hit us with the tips and bits.
Tips and
That's
bits.
what we need to call this segment now, by the way. That's what we're going to call it from now on. It's tips and bits. Yeah.
Tips and bits with
Tips and
Gigi
bits.
and Senpai Zane. Who
That
may not
sounds
be a
so
senpai.
county. Like, tips and bits with Gigi.
Should we all go around Gigi's for some tips and
Good
bits?
Lord. We're on the Home
Who's got the
Furnishings
pins?
Network. Yeah.
So,
about a rugger. Sorry, yes, go on.
Black Panther: Wakanda Forever has started
Wakanda
production.
Do we know anything about it yet?
No, not really.
I mean,
except for I know Martin Freeman said that he's read the script.
Oh, good. I mean, spoilers, everyone, but Black Panther's not going to be in it.
Yeah, there's that.
No, a Black Panther will be in it, won't they? There was some. Yeah, we don't really know anything about this. God, I hope Martin Freeman's not going to turn out to be the new Black Panther. That would be terrible, wouldn't it? Why is he the only one who's read the script? I've become accustomed to their culture and their people. I am the Black Panther. No,
The thing is that gets me though is like he ever since Sherlock, I feel like he's just played the John Watson character and everything. Like him as a John Watson Black Panther is just him turning his head a lot. What?
Yeah,
like
and doing the Tim face towards the camera.
Yeah, the sigh.
Yeah. So we got more stolen vibranium. That'll be it.
Yeah.
One interesting thing that I heard was so I can't remember what the source was, so I apologize in advance. But if anyone wants to complain in, then go for it. But they were saying that Shuri is not necessarily because Shuri. I think if it's not in a what if, it's in something else. But Shuri does become Black Panther at one point in the books. But they were saying that it would be kind of cool because Shuri doesn't really have the physical prowess of Black Panther. She's all about the brains. Yeah. And so they were saying it would be quite cool if oh God, what's his name? Oh no, I've forgotten what his name is.
M'Baku.
Yes, M'Baku, yes, and Shuri share the Black Panther responsibility. So like she's Black Panther within Wakanda and protects Wakanda's interests, and he's Black Panther in like representing externally because he's got the physical prowess. So it's basically like he's the brawns and she's the brain kind of thing, and that way you've got it's the only way to kind of compensate for T'Challa not being in it anymore. Which I thought was a really cool idea. I was like, oh yeah, I kind of like that dynamic. It's like you cannot replace the man, so like do the next best thing and have two of them. You know, whether they go with that or not, I don't know. But I mean, it's just a really cool idea. Unfortunately, Marvel did kind of write themselves into a corner with it when they burned the entire Purple Flower Garden, didn't they? So
yeah, you say that though. Someone's going to be like, oh, I had it on my bookshelf, like something stupid, like.
What?
You know what I'm talking basically.
No, I don't know what you mean. I had it on my bookshelf.
This is a real quick
the life-giving
over.
super soldier plant serum. Yeah, I had it on my bookshelf.
There was an episode of Batwoman where she was poisoned, and the only way that she could be cured is by going halfway across the world to get this plant. The plant is destroyed, like the whole field of them, and it turns out someone in Gotham had it on their had the last one on their bookshelf. So
so let me just break down. Let me just break that down for you. I really enjoyed the Flash on CW, and I really enjoyed the first 3 seasons. But comparing the Flash to like the Marvel Cinematic Universe currently, and the CW to the Marvel Cinematic Universe currently, it's like comparing Schindler's List to 50 Shades of Grey.
Is it now? Because they're both known for being shot in black and white.
That's exactly where I was going with it. Exactly. That's the only connection. Yeah, both give interesting statements on risque content. What's that? YouTube's knocking at the door. What?
What's an anagram?
Thank you. Maybe that's our new rating system.
Yeah, on the scale of
50 Shades. What's this episode of Loki this week? Schindler's List or 50 Shades of Grey to you?
I think actually I've got an interesting list.
The problem is I ran out of Schindler's List just popped into my head, by the way, because I was going to do Sex and the City and 50 Shades of Grey, and then I realized they're both terrible, so I had to think of another movie quick. Anyway, there you go.
Perfect. New Spidey suit has been revealed.
No. Sorry, I'm trying to think of a good movie. Yes, the new Spidey suit. 2 of them. There's two. I don't know if you've seen 2.
I haven't seen 2.
So there was one that was revealed through a Lego toy. Is that the one you're talking about?
That's the one I've seen.
And then there's another one which I will send to you so that you can see it. But it looks pretty funky. It's like his black and gold suit.
Yeah, almost like the Iron Spider outfit.
Wait, is that the one you were talking about?
Mm-hmm. That's what.
I'm not talking about that one. Oh, have you seen? Okay, so no, there's 2 Lego ones. There's that, but then there's also. Let me send this to you. Apologies, viewers and listeners. This is.
You can share your screen on this, by the way.
I don't want to share.
You might have
screen.
Okay, I'll share.
I've got 50 Shades of Grey open. I was expecting you to be on Discord, but you're not on Discord. That's quite disappointing. There we go. Let me just put that into our private chat.
Where's this been sent through? Oh, on here. Ooh.
Yeah, on StreamYard. Powered by StreamYard. Sorry, listeners. This is obviously not the. Anyway, it's weird. His new suit, for those of you who are listening and not watching right now, his new suit kind of looks like a weird Iron Spider-esque, but with like some glyphs and stuff in it. It's really odd. Like it's really, really odd.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you see? Yeah. So it's almost like he's got Doctor Strange-esque glyphs on his suit. It's like red, blue, and gold. And then he's also got a black and gold suit as well. So I don't know what the hell is going on here. My actual thought about it was, I am wondering if possibly, because we already know that there is going to be multiple Spider-Men.
Mm-hmm.
What if this isn't Tom Holland Spider-Man? What if this is what Andrew Garfield's going to look like? Or
no way.
Tobey Maguire. Yeah, maybe. I mean, Andrew Garfield's suit was not that. Think about it. Tobey Maguire had the quintessential Spider-Man suit, and it was so good that they used it in Amazing Spider-Man 2. So that was what Andrew Garfield looked like. You can't have the same Spider-Man suit again. You know what I mean? So it would kind of make sense to have him wearing something different. Like have him different from the rest. I think that the black and gold one will be what Tom Holland is wearing, because I think he's going to have gone underground because of what happened at the end of Homecoming, or not Homecoming, Far From Home. But yeah, it's really interesting, man. Really, really interesting design.
It is interesting design.
That looks like that looks like a mix of the Tom Holland Spider-Man in the MCU and the Iron Spider from Civil War.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's got the gold sort of gauntlet things, but it also has that the sort of black lining of.
I'm not sure if it's is it black or is it really dark blue? I think it's dark blue, isn't it?
Yeah, it looks like a dark blue.
But yeah, that's there's a Doctor Strange one in that as well. If you keep going, there's Doctor Strange Funko, which shows what he looks like. If you keep going in that article, go up, go back up, go back up.
Oh, go back up. Up,
down. Sorry, guys, listening. Next.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yep.
So it shows the Lego, and then there's Doctor Strange. See, like an old man Doctor Strange.
Yeah, in casual sort of clothing.
Yep. So yeah, there's a lot of interesting stuff going on.
Is that a puffer jacket? Like,
I'm not sure. I mean, you read what you will from a Funko Pop, because sometimes they're not super accurate. But I mean,
they're not far off.
No, exactly. There's also a bit of news there on the right, which is the Lost Kingdom for Aquaman 2. If that's what the name of it's going to be. Giving us our news. Thank you, Comic Book Movie, for the source. Just to give them a shout out so that we're not plagiarizing them.
Interesting.
Yeah, very interesting. So yeah, I'm excited for that.
Wowzers. Okay.
I can't wait for No Way Home. No Way Home. You know what I can't wait for, Zane? Like the Marvel train to get going again for movies and stuff. Like it's starting. I can feel it because Black Widow's out next week, and I'm so excited for Black Widow to come out. Like I just can't wait. And like they were, they did I've seen the trailers on TV and stuff where they're like, it's finally time, and I'm like, oh yes, it is finally time. Let's get the Marvel train running again, please. Thank you very much, because the TV shows have been good to great, but like, I just, oh god, I need that. I need that experience again. Like I need that big boom experience of the cinema again.
It feels weird, doesn't it? Like it's almost been like this. Probably the best part of 10 years, we've been spoiled with like 2 or 3 Marvel movies a year.
Yes.
And now we've had this lull. And I mean, it's probably the perfect time to have the lull, like after Infinity War and Endgame.
I'll tell you what, I was thinking about this the other day. It's funny you say that. Imagine if this pandemic had happened right after Infinity War. How weird would that have been?
Painstaking.
The snap. Well, not just that, but then the snap had happened, and he wiped out half the universe, and then we all go into lockdown. So it's like everyone, like there's nobody on the street. That would have been weird as hell. Marvel, your marketing was off by a year.
We should say though, with respect to those sadly who have caught the virus and everything else.
Oh, I'm not being flippant about the virus. I'm just saying it would have been amazing. Yeah, I mean, full disclaimer. Anyone who suffered with coronavirus over the last year and a half, I'm very, very sorry for you. It's a horrible situation. And I'm not trying to make light of the coronavirus situation. I am saying that like it would have been incredibly coincidental if at the end of Infinity War, Thanos snaps and then everyone is off the street.
I mean, it was bad enough when it happened to Google, when he snapped and there's the emoji. That was pretty cool, though.
Yeah. Poor Google.
Poor Google. Last bit of news from me, though, is something we speculated a lot last week was about Abomination being in the Shang-Chi trailer. We now have had confirmation. It's confirmed that Abomination from The Incredible Hulk was in that Shang-Chi trailer, and we will see him in Shang-Chi and the Ten Rings. Yeah,
but not just that. Who was he fighting? Which is also confirmed.
Yeah, fighting Wong, of all people.
Okay, so here's my theory on this, right? And I think it is I think it's a super simple explanation. So if you watch, I've seen a couple of like thumbnails for videos and stuff like that, and if you look at the picture of Abomination, you'll notice that he looked like the lighting of it. He looks very bluey, like he looks a lot bluer than normal. And the light, there's like a beam of light that's like flashing down onto the thing. I don't think it's actually them. I think it's holograms of them. And I think it's some kind of hologram fight club like that is in Madripoor. I don't think that. I think it's like the ultimate, like, it's like that. Room. Yeah, it's like that stupid. What was that stupid show they had from like World's Deadliest Warriors or whatever, where they had like ridiculous. It was ridiculous. They had like the IRA versus the Taliban or whatever it was. Like, it's just, I think it's one of those, but for like a fight club kind of thing. So they have. I see what you mean, like a hollow deck. Like, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think it's relive. I think it's a light projection fight. Where they basically it's two holograms fighting each other, because otherwise it's exactly your reaction when you said it. What the like, it doesn't make any sense. Huh? Abomination fighting Wong? Why? So I guess it kind of leans into like a lot of people are saying like that Madripoor scene and such. It's supposed to have like a Mortal Kombat sort of feel about it. And I suppose if you're going to do Mortal Kombat, you make it like a video game. So maybe someone is selecting these characters. Yeah, it could be that. Or warriors. And like you say, they fight and everyone bets. I'll try and find the picture so that I can show you. But for those watching on this medium. But who knows? Maybe we'll see like other sort of characters that have been like in passing, like a Korg maybe, or to your theory, like just in expanding on it, like what if we saw I was going to say Lady Sif, but that might be a spoiler for what we talk about later. Quite possibly. Yeah, I'm just looking at it now. So they're in a very special kind of cage, and like if you look at the I'll take the clip from it. Again, I could be completely wrong. So I won't. How the hell do I share my screen on this? It should be at the bottom. You might have share. Yeah, there it is. Oh. Okay, I don't know where this is going to end up. Select window or screen. Oh, this is so annoying. Oh, I think I know what's happening. I'll stop that, and then it should give you. If I share this, yeah, there we go. You can see it, right? Oh no, you can't see it. No. There you go. Now you can see it. Now you can see it, right? Yeah. Oh, right. Infinity. This. Look, can you see this? Yeah, I can see that. The light shining down onto it. Yeah. I think it's that. It looks really detailed when you get into it, but look, there's always lights behind them. Yeah. Anyway, that's my theory. That's my theory, and I'm sticking with it. And now I'm going to stop sharing.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think so. I think it is. I think that's what it is. But who knows? Who's to say?
Kevin Feige.
Oh yeah, that was it.
One last bit of news from me as well. Something that we spoke about last week also was about Beast Wars coming to Transformers.
Oh god, you're still going on.
Yeah, I am banging that drum. It was.
We haven't even talked about the Flash. Like I've got. You guys might have seen it there. I've got it as a headline on this. We haven't even talked about the Flash news or anything like that, which I thought you would have been all over.
I haven't seen it. That's why I'm so surprised by it. Maybe it's because I'm reading too much about Beast Wars right now.
No kidding.
Yeah, but it was released by Collider that Ron Perlman will voice Optimus Primal, who is the gorilla version of Optimus Prime.
Oh dear.
Ron Perlman.
That's good.
AKA Hellboy. Yeah, in the Transformers movie.
Cool. I couldn't care any less about Transformers. You do realize that, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like, I like Transformers, don't get me wrong, but like, I couldn't care any less about the new film.
I think I'm gonna love this.
Hurt. You sound so hurt.
It's fine. I know it's not for everyone. You know, ham and pineapple isn't for everyone. It's fine. I get it.
I thought you could say ham and cheese. Then I was like, "What? Ham and cheese is excellent." So, can I bring two pieces of news into this then?
Yes.
As you brought in your Beast Wars, and then we'll talk about Loki quickly. So, there was a leak this week from Warner Brothers, which is why I'm surprised you didn't see it, but it showed Michael Keaton as Batman in The Flash. Yes, exactly, which is why I wanted to talk to you about it on stream. So we saw an image of Michael Keaton as Batman, and he looked very old. So that was good. It was nostalgia. It was in the fields, and they were talking about Batfleck as well, returning because of they've already pretty much like confirmed that he's going to come back in a role. Yeah. And they're talking about it. Now he's interested. And they're talking about there might be more than two Batmen. So they've confirmed Batfleck and Keaton, but there might actually be more. So I know what you're thinking, and
that?
It is the time. It's time for the return of Val Kilmer. Yes. He's going to be back. He's not going to have lost any weight. He's going to still look the same as he does today. Super fat Val. So we're going to get big fat man. It's going to be fantastic.
Who was Bob Kane's favorite pick of Batman? Famously.
I think peak Val Kilmer would have been really good. He was pretty good. I mean, he was great Bruce Wayne, and then he was a pretty good Batman. But he did not have great material to work with. You know, it's the same as ever. It's like, I mean, you put Christian Bale in those movies.
Yeah.
It's going to turn out the same, regardless of who you put in there. I don't think Clooney was a good fit for Batman. I mean, he was a great fit for Bruce Wayne, but he's not a good fit for Batman. He doesn't have that darkness.
But you get the Clooney. He's Clooney like throughout, isn't he? Like, nonetheless, there's no break point.
Yeah, exactly. I'd be able to tell exactly who Bruce Wayne was just by seeing him in the suit as George Clooney. It's ridiculous.
And charming his way by going, "I'm Batman." Like, hey, Freeze, I'm Batman. Like,
never leave the cave without it. Infinity Batman card. What kind of bank does that? Ridiculous. Hang on, you've got loads of money as Batman. Wait a minute. Billionaire Bruce Wayne has loads of money. The other thing to say about the Flash movie as well is we still don't know who the villain's going to be in it. They still haven't revealed who the villain might be. So bearing in mind with Flash, there's only two options that I can think of. There's either Gorilla Grodd, it's not going to be Gorilla Grodd, or it's Reverse Flash.
Yeah.
Possibly Zoom. I guess you could say Zoom, but it's going to be one of those two. But yeah, it was interesting. The other thing that was of newsworthy note today that came out, I think today, hot off the press was that hot off the press tips and bits right off the tips and bits. Kevin Feige said he looks forward to working with Scarlett Johansson as Black Widow again.
Oh, that's interesting. Because I saw a tweet that said she wasn't going to. This is her last. She confirmed this was her last Black Widow performance.
Here we go. So Kevin Feige says he's excited to continue working with Black Widow star Scarlett Johansson.
Oh no! Wait, is this a play? Because Feige looks after Star Wars now, and a lot of people are emigrating to his Star Wars project. Because Brie Larson switched.
Maybe you're right. Yes, you might be right. Actually, I'm just reading my apologies. I'm reading the full quote from him now instead of just the headline. So, Marvel is always about. I'll read. This is from as per Entertainment Tonight. Feige said, "Marvel is always about new beginnings, and Scarlett Johansson is such an amazing partner for us. She was a producer on this film. She was, in regards to Black Widow, she was the one that brought us our amazing director, Kate Shortland, and I'm excited to continue working with her in any way possible if we're so lucky." Yeah, so maybe you're right. Maybe that could be Johansson's about to drop into Star Wars world.
If she was in Star Wars world, what would she play? Jedi? Mara Jade. Ooh.
She's like perfect casting for it. Like she's absolutely perfect for it. She really is. Like what's great is I've frozen Senpai because he loves that. I can see how much he loves that.
I'm playing everything out in my mind. Like, ooh,
that would be. That could be. I still wish they would. How much of the legacy Star Wars stuff do you know?
I know bits and pieces.
So Mara Jade she's an assassin of the Emperor, who this is in Legacy, so this isn't canon anymore. When the Empire fell after the death of the Emperor, her last mission was to kill Luke Skywalker. And so she tried to make that happen, but ended up falling in love with him, as you do. And they had a child together. They got married and had a child together, and that was Ben Skywalker. And it goes on from there. Now, they've never introduced Mara Jade into new Star Wars lore, like Disney Star Wars lore. But this is my thing that annoys me the most about us continuing to go back to the Clone Wars era. There is so much. Like, look at The Mandalorian, which takes place after Return of the Jedi. There is so much good stuff to explore between Return of the Jedi and Force Awakens. We don't know anything about the Jedi Academy that Luke formed. We don't know anything. We don't know if Luke had kids. We don't know if Luke got married. Like, this could be the way that they introduce that. It could be that he did actually have a romance with Mara Jade and did have a child. So the Skywalker bloodline could well continue out there. We just don't know who it is yet, which makes sense considering that's exactly how Luke was introduced to us, because he didn't know who his parents were. So anyway, it's a fascinating little bit that Feige's dropped there. I would love that though. I would love her to be Mara Jade in Star Wars. That would be amazing. Anyway, sorry. I just wanted that. I thought that is definitely newsworthy this week for us to talk about.
Yeah, definitely. We've definitely opened the speculation window there with a bit of Star Wars as well. Why not?
I love a bit of Star Wars. You know how much I love Star Wars.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. On to the main event.
Yeah, why not?
You are gagging to talk about Loki. I can see it in your face. You're absolutely dying to talk about it.
Okay, episode 4 of Loki has been and gone. But if you haven't seen it yet, this is your spoiler warning right now at 34 minutes and 10 seconds into this podcast. So pause it, come back later when you've seen Loki and join the conversation, because it's going to get juicy. You go first.
What an episode. Man, it was like this series. I have said it once. I will say it again. We're more than halfway through the series now, and my God, it's just brilliant. It's so good. It is so good. I've never been more like sympathetically, emotionally invested in someone falling in love with themselves. Like, it's fantastic. It's so good. I will say this. Did you? So everyone is still saying that Sylvie is Loki, right? Is a version of Loki.
Yeah.
But I think she has commented on it maybe once.
Right.
But nobody has actually referred to her as Loki yet. Have you noticed that? Not even in the flashback. Nobody has called her Loki. They called her Variant or Sylvie. Those are the only two things we've seen her be called. And it's like, I think that I'm wondering if this is just a runaway train where everyone's been like, yeah, she's Loki. She's Loki. I don't think she is, man. I really don't.
No.
Also, I really don't. I still don't to this day. I think that I'm a bit concerned about her being his daughter now after they've gone down this love path. But it could be that the love he feels is the love for a daughter. That could be what it is, because Loki's never loved anyone.
Yeah.
Apart from his mother.
Be. Yeah, it could be like a maternal sort of thing.
Yes.
Yeah. Backstory wise, what did you think of little Sylvie's backstory? We got some references, by the way, in terms of her toys with the Valkyries and Pegasus and Fenrir the wolf. But
we don't really get much, do we? I mean, we just get a kind of little bit of Asgard, because we still don't know what makes her a variant. It's just you see the flashback and they turn up and take her away, but you don't actually see why. And it's like, that's what it was. She referred to herself as the goddess of mischief, and that's the only hint that we've got that she's a Loki. That's the only thing that she said to confirm that she's a Loki. That's it. Because otherwise, it's all been like, don't call me Loki, don't call me that name, like all this other kind of stuff. So, backstory wise, there's not much to go on. Yeah, she was playing with some toys in Asgard, an Asgard that looks exactly the same as the Asgard that we know and loved before it was ripped in half by Surtur.
Taken from us. Yeah.
Before Hela was just thrust through the middle of it.
There's a little reference with that as well, which I'll get to in a moment. Yeah. So obviously she was captured. She got away in a weird... I'm going to be a bit picky about it, but the fact that she just stomped on Ramona's foot and then pickpocketed her and was like, I'm time jumping now till I'm older.
Also, the fact that Ramona, when later on in the episode, Sylvie asks her, why was I a variant? And Ramona, with a little SHIT eating grin on her face, goes, I don't remember. There's way more to that story. There is way more to that story than we saw in this episode. So I don't think it's as simple as that. I wouldn't be surprised if we'll come back to that. Let's leave that thought right there. But yes, I don't believe that what we have seen in flashback form is all of the story there. I think there is more to it than just she stomped on a foot and got away.
And then quantum leaped.
Yeah, Sam Beck did it. Yeah, into different realms. Yeah.
How do you feel about Loki finding his one true love in himself, or as we're led to believe?
It's perfect, isn't it? It's so good. I love it. I love it. Of course it is. He's the king of narcissism. Of course it is.
So much chaos that it creates its own Nexus event.
Yes.
At the end of a world destroying, like.
Well, we're assuming it's that, and it's not incest. If my theory being about the daughter is right, then there you go. Owen Wilson going, what the hell is that? It's an incest event. I think it's with this Loki, it's different because this Loki never went through the emotional drama that he went through on Sakaar and all these other situations with the Dark Elves and stuff like that. That never happened to this Loki. I think this Loki is... we have to remember that this Loki is different from the one that died in the MCU in the sense of he is complete at that point in time after the first Thor. He is completely alone in the universe. Like, he has been abandoned by family. The only family he's ever known. He isn't who he thought he was because he's just, I mean, he only literally found out, recently that he was a frost giant, so his mind is not in, he's not in the best of places, let's put it that way. And he's lonely, and that's the bottom line, and he has no place, and what he thought was his place in the world is not his place in the world. He thought he was supposed to be the divine conqueror, and he's actually just a tool to be used to make other people better. So
I suppose the other thing as well, like him seeing how he would have played out, if he was left to his own devices, would still lead to his eventual end at the hands of Thanos. Like, that's a version of Loki you're right, we won't ever see again, because he's a completely different, it puts a different perspective in his mind. So
correct. Exactly. I think that doesn't necessarily say that it's not that he doesn't, there's a part where that Mobius says later on, so I've got an itchy nose for some reason, guys, on the webcam, my apologies, so you can see that. It's hay fever season, it's horrible in the UK at the moment. There's a part later on that Mobius talks about where he talks about like you don't have to be bad, you can be a good person just by being a good person, kind of thing. And I think that it seems like they're trying to weave that thread into the Loki character, that he is a good person regardless of the events that happen to him, and no matter what variant he is a fundamentally good person. It's interesting, they're trying to take one of the most notorious villains in Marvel Universe and make him into a good guy. It's
especially one that we've seen for the last 10 years as a baddie, and turn him into a good guy. One thing that
he's very much the Terminator of his day, isn't he?
You could say. One thing I just wanted to mention as well is I know a lot of people are like, oh, they talk so much for a planet that's about to destroy and stuff, and I can't help but think of a quote of by Russell T Davies when he wrote Doctor Who, and especially Utopia. I always think of Utopia. He's like, when the world's about to end, that's the time when two people will open up and talk about anything and everything.
Yes.
Because there's that scene of Captain Jack and the Doctor, like in the nuclear thermal room. I love that scene so much. Yeah. But he said that's the only time two people open up and talk, and it's true to a point. Like,
it is. There's nothing left to lose. What's the point of being shy?
And
I will say, if there is one thing about this episode that did peeve me off, it was how they got out of that situation. I hated that so much. I hated it. I was like, I wanted, like, it. You look back on it, and it's like, okay, having a time stone, fine. Okay, he's probably not got a time stone, and then manipulation of the mind, because that came up in a conversation after the fact as well, which was maybe he's enchanting her this time and she's not aware of it. That would have been a better thing than just, oh, we found him out of all the infinite possibilities in time and space. Oh, look, Loki's holding hands creates a Nexus event that I immediately know, in the middle of a Nexus bomb that has been creating thousands of these events. I immediately know that this one is the one that's the right one. That really annoyed me. I was like, that is such cheap writing to get out of this. That really annoyed me. That did take me out of the episode at the beginning, I have to say, because did.
Power of their love got them found.
And then Mobius's amazing gifts of like, wow, that's the right one. Wow.
I'm going to speed over a little bit to something that made me shout out the exact same words as Loki, which was Sif.
Jamie Alexander is back. Yes. Good.
For a Easter egg of different calibers. In more.
But is it an Easter egg? Is it an Easter egg, or is it a subtle precognition? Or precognition even, sorry, of what is to come. Who would have thought? Who would have thought? First of all, I am really happy to see Jamie Alexander back in the role.
Yeah,
she's been nowhere since Dark World. Because didn't they have some kind of falling out? I think didn't like Feige and her have a falling out when she went off to do Blacklist?
I think it was just a conflict of schedules because I think you're right. There was a project and she couldn't come back to do Ragnarok because in Ragnarok all the other warriors get axed.
Yeah, I thought it created some friction between her and Marvel, but I could be wrong with that. Anyway, but I was very happy to say she's very nice. She's a very nice actress. I like her very much. She's got a lot of talent. I enjoy her in many tips and bits. No, she. The reason why it was interesting to me that they brought back Sif and specifically put her in the Loki episode, because that could have been memories of anyone, and that could have been memories of anything. I would have thought he would have used more of a Thor memory of Thor beating up Loki. I would have thought that would have been a much more poignant memory to them to have, and they could have brought him. It's Marvel. They've got Hemsworth on tap. They could have brought him in. They could have brought in Liam Hemsworth. It could have been, they could have done anything they want. But the fact they brought back Sif in the comic books, Lady Loki, he takes his visage, he takes his image from Sith.
Yeah.
So Lady Loki in the comic books is basically Sif with Loki in its head. And I thought it was very interesting that they brought, right before we're about to see seemingly a lot of Lokis. Yeah, I thought it was very interesting that you bring back Sith in this episode.
I thought the exact same thing at first because I was like, "Oh, now we've seen Sith. Does that mean we'll get our Lady Loki compared to these hybrids of
Sylvie Loki?"
Where the other thing as well, I looked into. So apparently, in the '60s comics and in Norse mythology, Loki does cut off Sif's hair. Which again is a nice sort of reference and Easter egg of its own. But I did lead to the same conclusion as you about the
because we don't know. I mean,
body swapping.
I don't actually know if do we know if in the main MCU Sif is dead?
So
and the Warriors 3, I don't think the Warriors 3 are dead. We never see them die.
Yeah, so Hela kills the Warriors. Because they
she does.
Server, right. I think Server kills one of them, but the sort of speculation is that Sif got away on one of the ships at the beginning of Infinity War.
Right.
That's the speculation because again, like you say, we never see her die, or she's never mentioned off screen as being dead.
Because the Asgardians, not all the Asgardians die. It's Thanos leaves half of them as he always does, and then wipes out half of the universe, which means he wiped out the other half of the half that he saved. What a jerk. He wiped out 3/4, Thanos. Your maths is way off.
But saying that actually brings us on to another point, because Morbius mentions that they've brought Kree...
Mobius, not Morbius.
Mobius. I'm getting ahead of myself. That they brought in Kree and vampires and people from Titan to.
Yes, they brought Kree. God Almighty, what's going on with you? Yes. Mobius has claimed that they have brought back Kree, Skrull, vamps. Yeah, so obviously all these other. Mythical creature, not mythical because Kree and Skrull aren't mythical, but you know what I mean. All
species.
Yeah, they've brought all these species back. Yeah, vampires was a weird mention, wasn't it? I don't know. I especially with Morbius just around the corner.
And yes, Blade.
Yes, yes. Yeah. I was thinking more and more about it. By the way, I'm now okay. I'm still sold on my Mephisto idea. All right.
Yeah.
But I'm actually starting to think it's going to be more of a hybrid. It is. I think it is going to be Nightmare Mephisto. I think it's going to be. So there's a bad guy called Nightmare who is normally a bad guy, and the reason why I think that is because they're doing a Moon Knight series.
Yeah.
And Nightmare is a Moon Knight bad guy, primarily, and it would make sense if he's one of the big bads overarching, and they've merged him with Mephisto, because when they reveal big bads, they do last quite a while, as we've seen from Thanos. So
yeah,
I'm sure it'll be a hybrid, and I still think it is going to be who I think it was going to be. But yeah, we'll come on to that later.
One little bit I just want to touch on is the scene where I think it's B-15, the hunter, takes Sylvie back to Rock's car in the rain.
Yes,
and she reveals her memory.
Great scene.
I wasn't sure if it was a reference, but I think it's like a callback to Blade Runner, where
oh right, yeah,
I can't remember his name at the moment, but it's the similar scene where he's in the rain and he
Roy Batty.
Yeah, contemplates like his whole humanity, or being an android and stuff. So
it's Decker and Roy Batty in the rain. Yeah, that's one of my favorite films. So yeah, all these memories will be lost like tears in rain. Yeah, which is it's a great analogy for what was happening in that, because literally, so we've skipped ahead a bit, but the TVA, obviously, Mobius finds out that they are all variants, and it is confirmed that they are all variants, and we find out who knows and who doesn't know. So it seems like Ramona does know that she was a variant, and does retain those memories, and is trying to keep them. Yeah, I mean, thoughts on like that whole bit? Because
I did like the tension of it, because he's like obviously fishing for answers, and then he like steals her BitBoy and then looks up in the library and stuff. I kind of like the cat and mouse of that. And then we obviously got to the scene where she corners him and deletes him, and he's like, I shouldn't laugh, but it's kind of like his whole speech of like, maybe I had a family, maybe I had a jet ski, like, and then they de-resed him, and my face was just like Tom Hiddleston's. I was like, oh.
Yeah, it was. I looked.
It was a cry with no sound.
It was ridiculous. I just looked over and I was just like, oh, I believe I went, holy they just killed Owen Wilson.
Yeah, and then I realized that maybe that's as much as they could afford at the time.
I was shocked that Mobius actually went pop, but then by the end of the episode, has he gone pop? Nah, he's not gone pop, has he? He's gone back to whatever variant world he is part of. He's not dead. Definitely, Mobius is not dead. Just in the same way that, I mean, we get, so the other massive revelation that we get is we actually see the timekeepers in this.
Yeah,
we actually see them. We see the vault, which was very tech noir. I was like, oh, that is very. These guys have clearly played a lot of cyberpunk in their time, and this is what they've designed their throne room on. Lots of mist and red neon lights in there. I liked it. So we get basically Sylvie and Loki get reunited. They're being. My question to you: why were they brought before the Timekeepers?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Why were they brought before the Timekeepers just to be executed? Doesn't make any sense whatsoever, unless that was exactly what was supposed to happen. Unless that was
supposed to be like a power play to keep up appearances.
Possibly, but then appearances for who? It wasn't like it was public.
No, but of course, like, it's all word of mouth with them, those sort of thing, isn't it? Like, all the timekeepers are watching. All the timekeepers want the Lokis.
God, I would love it if that was the advert. The timekeepers. Oh, Betty. What are you talking about?
The timekeepers.
Oh, the timekeepers. Yes. That would be brilliant. If somebody who we used to work with, who I will not use her name on stream, but guys, she was like one of the receptionists for the TVA. That would be amazing, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that would be amazing.
Where you going? Oh, yes. Ow. Oh, Pompeii! Oh, lovely this time of year, isn't it? Oh, yeah. It's not Alan Carter, by the way, guys. Just want to put it out there.
Could you understand the timekeepers, by the way? A lot of people are saying that they really struggled to hear.
It was hard to understand them. Yeah, it was like the main guy in the middle I could understand, but then the two other ones were really like garbled. Yeah, it was really garbled. But anyway, it turns out they're not actually the timekeepers, are they? They're just puppets, robots. They are robots. The timekeepers were robots that were put in place. What a surprise that the shadowy organization that is running the TVA is not actually 3 fish people. What a surprise. Mm-hmm. So let the speculation begin. Who is it? Because it's going to be it's going to be a big bad. It has to be this time. This can't be a WandaVision situation where it's Agatha Harkness. This one's going to be the big one. You can't have this much power and not be a big bad. So I'm really buying into your idea that you had last time that it was a Council of Kang. Yeah. I'm really buying into that. Like, I think that's great, and that would make total sense, bearing in mind the powers that he has and what he can do. Yeah. I still like my Mephisto idea. I think it's possible.
Yeah. I still like your idea of an older Richard E. Grant, an older Loki being behind it all anyway. Yeah. But there's just too many things that kind of lead to Kang, which makes me even second guess myself now. Because if it's going to be Kang, then why is the next movie we'll see him in like Ant-Man in Quantum Mania?
So my theory behind that is that the TVA is his place. The TVA is his creation. I think that Loki and Sylvie are going to ruin it. I think they are going to destroy it. They are going to cause a cataclysmic event, which by probably making a incest Loki baby
kiss,
which will cause the timeline to completely rupture, which will create the multiverse of madness. And I think in an effort for Kang to find another place like the TVA, he will go to a place where time does not matter, like the quantum realm. And so I think there is a quantum city in Ant-Man and the Wasp that we see. Mm-hmm. I think that's probably where Kang is going to fit in with that. That would be my theory, is that he's looking for the next place. Or it could be that, look, let's not ignore the fact that it's timey-wimey. It could be that Quantum Mania is the start of the TVA. We might find out that the TVA is in the quantum realm.
Started by like Janet. No, is it Janet? Janet's the mum, right?
Janet Van Dyne.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Hope's the daughter.
Yeah. Hope's the daughter.
I don't think it's going to be No, I don't think it's going to be started by Janet. I don't think that's what it is. But I think that Quantum Mania we could be seeing the end before we see the beginning. And so, this is time play. Like, this is that things don't necessarily have to happen in a chronological order.
Yeah,
exactly. So I think it could well be that what we're seeing now, that Quantum Mania could be Kang starting it, and that's where it leads. And then years and years and years later. Anyway, blah blah blah.
By the way, we've got a comment here. I'm going to pop on screen. Have a look at this. Maybe the plot twist is that she was the original Loki version, but she went to trial and called a variant just because she could make trouble, or the one behind the TVA in the long run if she stayed. Ooh.
So, so Sylvie. Okay, so Sylvie's the original.
I think this is going back to our Sylvie conversation.
Apologies if we missed it. We're not used to getting the comments live on air. That's crazy. Yeah.
Thank you, Seabass. 2920 for your
2920. Yes, 2920. Thank you, Seabass. Yeah, I don't. It could be. I guess the ultimate plot twist would be that it was Sylvie all along, wouldn't it? But I don't know if that would. The only issue I have with that
is an older Sylvie, maybe that would be interesting.
I still think it's. This is why I was thinking possibly it's a Lady Loki, pulling the strings of everything, which is why they reintroduced Sif, so that you would know who that person is, and then it would be slightly confusing in the sense of like, oh, it's Sif, but it's Loki. But no, I think Kang is the most likely. I really do at this point in time now, based on what we know that is coming, and based on what a big deal we know Kang is. I think it makes sense. I'm disappointed, to be honest with you. In the grand scheme of things, in the grand scheme of Marvel, Kang the Conqueror's he's an okay bad guy, but like I am disappointed if he's going to be the big. If this is obviously a big if because we don't know what's coming at the end of Loki, but if he's going to be the big bad, I'm slightly disappointed in that because I really was looking forward to a Galactus. I was really looking forward to a Galactus or an Annihilus. Annihilus is another really good character that should have his time. Or, some of the X-Men bad guys. Why couldn't you, like this, like Apocalypse done right? Geez, honestly, I'll take an Onslaught at this point in time. I know you can't introduce him without Charles and Magneto, but at the same time, like, there's so many good bad guys that you could use over Kang, I feel. And I get it. He's a big Avengers villain, but like, it doesn't like set my world on fire as much as Thanos.
Yeah, I think because they're doubling down on the space stuff so much, and because we know they're going to do supernatural things going forward, I think they're kind of trying to sprinkle the bread. They're trying to lay the tracks for the supernatural stuff now, knowing that we're all geared up to do Guardians and everything else in space, like, because we got a Blade to try and convince people about. Like, besides the amazing.
The problem is with this is that if you're doing supernatural stuff, then Mephisto is perfect. He's the perfect bad guy because that's exactly what he is, and he has touch points on everything. But as far as cosmic, if they're going more cosmic with stuff, Galactus would be so perfect for it. Like, because you do not that. The beauty of Galactus as a bad guy is you don't have to have the payoff of seeing him until right at the end. Like even so you can have like little drops of nuggets of stuff like Guardians of the Galaxy. You can have like, oh, this planet, like let's go to LV4296 or whatever it's called. It's not there. Why isn't it there? That's fine. Just as a throw-in reference, after the disaster of so and so where the planet disappeared. Like, you can do that. And then if you want another bad guy to establish the next Avengers, like the Secret Avengers or whatever they're going to do next, have a Herald. You can bring in a Herald of Galactus, and they are just as powerful and a massive threat, but not as big bad as Galactus is. You know what I mean? Like, there's so many ways of doing it, and I was just really hoping that they would. Now that they're doing the Fantastic Four. Like, it's like a glove. It's like a tailor-fit glove for it. And Feige's always said he wants to use Galactus, and yet they're doing Kang. What are you doing? Sort it out, Feige. Get your life in order.
What's he playing at?
Honestly.
We got to talk about these end credit scenes or mid credit scenes, whatever you want to call it. Some people miss this. Because they saw the credits come out and they were like, "That's it, it's done." Like, I can't believe people missed this.
Okay, so end credit scene, aka my ultimate heartbreak. But long-term listeners of our show will understand what I'm talking about there. So I've been propagating a theory for a while that Richard E. Grant is playing a older Loki who is secretly Mephisto / Nightmare. Pulling the strings behind everything.
Amazing theory.
I might still be right. Because
there's layers to your theory. That's
he was. Yeah, he was still playing an old version of Loki.
That's box one ticked.
He is legit playing the comic book version of Loki. It seems. Yeah. Yeah, so the after credit scene. Apologies, I cut you off, Senpai. No, it's okay. You carry on.
So what was interesting as well is our Loki woke up in this dimension and says, "Am I in hell?" If you have the subtitles on, it's spelt with one L.
HEL.
Yeah. Almost
this was after he gets dusted, by the way, in the TVA. He gets
De-rezzed.
so he de-rezzed. He gets de-rezzed the same way Mobius did, and then wakes up in this other dimension, wherever it is. We assume it's another dimension. It is a destroyed version of New York in the background, by the way.
Yeah, because the Avengers Tower is in the background destroyed.
I don't know whether it's Avengers Tower, but you see some classic New York buildings that are quite clearly New York buildings destroyed in the background. And I think we've seen the destroyed landscape in the trailer as well. Right. There was an image of him walking across a desert wasteland kind of thing, which is exactly the same color palette as what you see when he wakes up. So we see Kid Loki when he wakes up. So he's greeted by 3 different variants. We see Kid Loki with a Loki lizard. We see
Gator apparently.
Gator,
yeah.
We see Old Man Loki, who is the comic book version, or supposed to be the comic book version of Loki, played by Richard E. Grant. And then we see a variant of Thor, it seems like.
Yeah, so there's been some speculation on that one. There's, I think in the early 2000s, there's a comic book where Loki was worthy to have Mjolnir. And this could be the version of Loki that got the hammer first. So there's a theory on that, but as you say, we've got the comic book accurate 1960s version of Loki as played by Richard E. Grant, Kid Loki, and Alligator Loki, which again, people's speculation it might be an Easter egg to the Frog Thor little mini series.
Yeah, that's great. Interesting that considering. I've just put 2 and 2 together as well, that in WandaVision, Agatha Harkness had a pet, didn't she, that was supposed to be a demon.
The rabbit, yeah.
Yeah, the rabbit that was, Mr. Scratchy, who was in, they cut the scene out, but apparently there's a scene of him turning into a horrible, horrific demon. And I wonder if there's going to be some kind of link with this weird pet situation where it's like, I don't know. I'm pulling at straws there, but it's I'm still going for it. I'm still going for the theory that Richard E. Grant he's too good an actor, and he's too sinisterly creepy to just be a 1960s camp version of Loki. He's got something, man. He really does. You'll notice as well his name was the first name that came out, but in the after credit sequence as well. He's too big a name. He is too big a name, and he is too good an actor to be a throwaway as a variant Loki. There's more to it. I'm sure of it.
He is perfectly cast as a older Loki. I think that's amazing. Of course, I'm going to say it's very Doctor Who at the same time.
It's very meta, isn't it?
Yeah.
The thing is, if you've seen a lot of Richard E. Grant's work, he can either be incredibly campy, a la Spice World the movie, or he can be an incredibly good actor, aka With Nail and I, where he's phenomenal in it.
I was going to say, funny enough, earlier, when I said there's a new scale I was thinking of.
Yeah.
I was going to say, on a scale of Nail and I to the Valiant.
Spice World.
But now you said Spice World.
Yeah, that's what it is. That's our new rating. How much scene chewing is an actor doing? Is it With Nail and I or Spice World the movie? It's the Richard E. Grant scale of scene chewing. Are we at scene chewing where it's acceptable and it's fantastically good acting, aka With Nail and I, or is it scene chewing where it's Spice World the movie? That's our scale. That's it. We've got a Hogan scale now. Now we've got an overacting scale.
Perfect.
Oh God, I feel like we're going to need to use that a lot in the coming months, especially when we talk about Fast 9. Anyway, yes. my theory still stands. I was right. He's playing an older version of Loki, and he's definitely gonna be a big bad. I'm staking my worthless reputation on it now.
You're putting your Hogan scale on the line.
No, I'd never put that on the line. That's ridiculous. I'm putting my Richard E. Grant overacting scale on the line. This episode for me was undisputed.
Yeah, I'll give it an undisputed as well. It was quite cool. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I think it's pushed us forward enough to, while still having a lot of big questions, because we now know more about the TVA while still not knowing a lot about the TVA.
Yeah. Also, this one felt like a lot more in line with the first 2 episodes.
Yes, it did.
In terms of pacing and stuff.
Yeah. But I mean, episode 3 I look at more of a like falling in love episode. It was like getting to know you. It was a getting to know you, getting to know all about you episode. It was it's just one of those things. But no, it was great. I enjoyed it a lot. And this series again, I said it right from the start, Senpai. I said this was going to be the one. I said this one was going to be the one, and it's knocking it out of the park, man. I am loving it.
There we go. Well, are you loving the Loki series so far? We want to know. So, like Seabass has, drop a comment in the section down below. If you're listening to the audio version, show some love. Drop us some star ratings and let us know in the comment section. As always, links will be in description down below for all the other bits and pieces we got going on at Undisputed Nerds Podcast, including your Twitch stream, my good friend.
Yes, twitch.tv/gentlemanlygamer. I've changed my name, and last time I did it last Friday, and it wreaked havoc on my stream because none of my stuff worked. So that was good.
No.
It's all fixed now. It's all working, so we're all good now. But come along.
I watched some Sea of Thieves. Yeah.
You did. You were with me on Wednesday. I saw you on the chat. It was much appreciated. Yeah, we're doing a mix-up of things. I'm starting to work with other streamers online at the moment. So tonight is going to be a horror community night. We're going to play Dead by Daylight with Plums Versus, which is going to be very fun. I did it last Friday, and I had such an amazingly hilarious time that I decided to do it again this week. It's good. It's going really well. So yeah, come join us. Come join us. And you can get in touch with us via email as well if you wanted to email in any queries. I'm still waiting on that Batfleck fanfic for him and Senpai Zane. So if you could send that into nerds.undisputed@gmail.com, that is our little thing. That's it wrong. Our little mailbox. That's what I meant to say.
Our little mailbox. That's there. That's what it is.
There you go. Lovely.
Fantastic.
As usual, Zane, it's been a pleasure.
Likewise. Thank you so much for joining us. And as always, stay undisputed.
Thanks, you guys. We'll see you next week.
Thanks very much.